This is today a hotel.
Yeah.
Before it was the royal compound or the castle of the Leopold I. Leopold I was the king, very mighty. He was ruling over the Austro-Hungary, then Poland, and finally the Venice Empire. They signed the peace contract in this city between the Ottoman Empire and Austro-Hungarian. But the leader of the Austrian army, the Eugen Savoyski, as the prince, he was the general and the prince, he didn't believe them. So he told to the Leopold I, we should build the biggest military fortification in a whole Europe in order to protect Vienna, because they were attacking Vienna in the 16th, 17th, and they definitely attempting to attack Vienna in the 18th century. But they started to build this beautiful and the biggest military fortification. Now these two buildings are belonging to the museum of the city, but before it was the military barracks for the officers, top officers and the generals. We should go this way and then I will show you amazing panoramic spot. Direction towards the city. From here you can see the main square. You can see this tower, church tower, which is in the middle, and this is one of the most beautiful Catholic churches in the country, and everything was made by Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's amazing architecture, and we are visiting immediately after the fortress. So now the whole building you can see today, it's a hotel, but before it was a castle of the Leopold I. The second name for this place is the Gibraltar on the Danube River. So it's the undestroyable fortress, And this is exactly the place where Ottomans, they lost the war. They came with 250,000 soldiers. They posted the war camp on the other side. In that moment, there was no city, just a plain ground on the other side. That was beginning of the 18th century. And they were thinking the task is very easy, but they were deceived,
Yeah.
because they were thinking the Turkish intelligence, they told them there was only 10,000 soldiers on the whole ground. But they didn't know that the king is hiding 40,000 soldiers underground in the 16 kilometers of the corridor. The Germans, the Austrians, they are very disciplined, So they lived more than 6 months in the underground. When they started the invasion, they simply popped up, And they had the most advanced weapons for the era, in the beginning of the 18th century. So the shooting range was at least 5 times longer than the shooting range of the cannons, Turkish cannons, So practically they lost the war in a period of 23 weeks, 20 days, And they are withdrawing the forces towards the Belgrade and staying in the Belgrade another 100 years, but they never expanded any territories, So they stayed in the Belgrade, and after 100 years, in the end of the 19th century, Serbian king finally defeats them, and they are going back to the Turkey. So this is like a short story about the famous history of this fortification.
go.
I want to show you the mechanism. Just you can take a look from here. Don't go inside. And this is the one. But at least I just wanted to open for you.
Pendulum kanda sane.
The weight you can go closer. Don't worry. Kaži mi kako ono tvoje detencije. To je bitno. Samo da je zdravo. Od jutra sam. Čekaj, ovo je malo pritis.
Sad treba da odem kod fizijatra neke vežbe. Ima tu jer...
1857 in first
Da radiš neke vežbe sad diješiš tego.
1857.
I da budem aktivan, da šetim.
Da, morao bi ili bicikl ili nešto, razumeš? Znači neki đavo moraš da radiš, ne ono kao znaš idi u teretanu i to onda svi to sredu pičku.
A najbitnije je da...
So now you're looking at the oldest part of the city. So this is the city from the 17th century, which was existing even before the fortress. So when they built the fortress, they surrounded this whole city by the walls. And you can see the walls on the right side. And even if you look closely,
Yeah, I can see the walls. We can move?
yes, of course. Let's go to the city.